Hey, internet friends, cousins, and scoundrels. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Pull up a chair, honey, and let's have a chat. And since the algorithm really likes it when you interact with the content, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe since you're here. Now I ain't gonna hold you. Let's get right into this.
A group of deplorables.
In the latest installment of Lawsuits and Mugshots Huntsville, we learned that Marceau and Tisha were allegedly being sued for $5 million. Maurice was allegedly being sued for over $100 million. Stormy was allegedly being sued by several vendors for non-payment, and Martell was convicted of DV harassing communications in the third degree. In the latest news, Destiny was just recently arrested for a second time. This time, fraud identity theft. Ugh, the travesty of it all. And this weirdo-ass motley crew of bitter, middle-aged criminals and fraudsters are on national TV, calling the fan base of the only person on this show who is actually making strides and doing positive things a group of deplorables and middle-aged bitter women. Talk about deflection, right? This is the same cast that refuses to hold Martell accountable for the criminal act of plotting to release revenge porn against his ex-wife, while at the same time downplaying the severity of the act that got him arrested in the first place. Their attempts to cover up and minimize this disgusting, disturbing behavior led to Maurice and Marceau to confront Martell about his appearance on the Tasha K podcast, instead of addressing the real issue that caused his arrest in the first place. Who the fuck cares that Martell went on Tasha K? Who? Nobody. If Marceau and Maurice were really Martell's friends, and they're not, but if they were, they would be confronting him about plotting to release that video. They would have told him to his face that he was wrong and that's some bitch boy shit. But instead, they want to have a conversation about the blogger Tasha K. Listen, they could care less if Martell crashes and burns. And I believe they did see the video. And I actually believe they were hoping that he would have released it. Why? Because then it would have been two birds with one stone. They would have gotten Mel out of the picture and off of the show. Because I believe that Mel would have stepped back to rally around her children after something like that. And rightfully so. And Martell's ass would have been sitting in jail. And guess what? As a bonus, they would have shut Ariane up too. Because her ass was definitely going to jail after Martell got done. That was his plan all along, anyway, to blame it on her ass. Now, when you're watching this conversation, you will notice that of all the things said, they never said to Martell, but you have kids. They never remind him of that. And guess what? You will never hear that from these men. They all use their kids as a way to control the women in their lives. Never as a way to control or regulate their own behaviors and actions. Hell no. Just as a way to control those women, right? Do you think Marceau said to himself, but I got kids, when he just upped and left for Africa for a month? Hell no. He didn't even tell Tisha he was leaving until the day of. And he didn't call to check on them during that time he was away because shit, those are her kids. That's her responsibility. Ain't got shit to do with him. Anytime Tisha wants to do something or go somewhere, it is up to her to find a sitter. Because he ain't watching her kids. He's made it clear. In my opinion, Maurice took a page out of Marceau's book and brought his minor son into the home for Kimmy to raise all alone and as a way to also regulate her movements. She was supposed to cook for him, clean up behind him, and even discipline his son. And when she tried to push back on all of this responsibility he was laying at her fucking doorstep, Maurice decided to guilt her by telling her she just doesn't want to be a mom and trying to make her feel bad. And I know y'all remember that. Maurice would set up meetings with his ex for him and Kimmy so they could work out, a plan on co-parenting. And half the time, he wouldn't even be there. And if he was there, he wanted Kimmy to lead the conversation. Co-parenting? That was never the goal for him and Kiowa to do. That was for Kimmy. Kimmy was going to co-parent with Kiowa, and he was going to be in the streets. And Martell tries to do the same thing with Mel. He tries to use the kids to regulate and control her. In my opinion, none of these men sees their kids as an extension of themselves. They see them as tools that can be used for control. They are a bunch of damn fools. But unfortunately, the women aren't any better. And since Destiny recently made the headlines, let's just focus on her for a second. Like the rest of the women on this show, Destiny is male identified. She even proudly says she has big dick energy, child boo. And like the other male identified women who need and seek the validation of men, this one, well, she's letting Martell use her as a weapon against his ex-wife. And that's sad. Anytime a microphone is placed in front of Destiny's mouth, Mel's name falls out of it. She is more than happy to tell you anything negative about Mel. She'll get up on any public platform and do so. I believe some of it is her, but I also believe a lot of it is Martell. And while she is busy being a crash dummy for Martell, what I have never seen is Martell return the favor. He has never uttered one negative word about LeBaric on any public platform in defense of Destiny. He never done it. He's never publicly said LeBaric was wrong for trying to get full custody of a newly born, still breastfeeding infant. He had nothing to say about LeBaric and Chris's decision to publish Destiny's full address online for an open house. That could have been handled differently, if we be honest. Still could have had the open house and still could have advertised it without publishing the address, because they could have only entertained fully verified serious buyers. Anyway, you never heard Martell say that LeBaric was wrong for sending Destiny to jail for what Nell would say is something that could have been worked out. But hell, Nell was only talking about black men. She wasn't talking about no women. And hell, I don't think she would have defended Destiny anyway. So there's that. So here's Destiny, arrested again, out here looking dumb. And if LeBaric is the person who had her arrested the second time, will Martell now publicly speak up on her behalf against LeBaric?
Hell no, to the no, 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 yeah, to the no.
Let me answer that. Hell no. Because in my opinion, Martell doesn't actually believe LeBaric is wrong for anything he has done or is currently doing to Destiny. And I say that because even though Destiny says that she and Martell think their exes are conspiring together to have them arrested, only Martell believes that he is being done unjustly by his ex-wife. In my opinion, he fully believes that Destiny is getting everything she fucking deserves, because he would do the exact same thing to Mel if he could, and he's tried. Martell has withheld their children's furniture so they wouldn't have a place to sleep. He's tried to get full custody of the kids. He's published Mel's address on a public platform, and if he could, he would have Mel's ass arrested too, but he can't. And unfortunately for Destiny, she is too male identified and needy for affirmation, a pat on the head, and an atta girl to see that Martell is just playing her fucking dumb ass. And that's just pathetic. Destiny is the definition of kicking yourself in the ass. She could have had a real friend that would have been able to identify with her and what she was experiencing, and could have helped her on how to navigate around a very contentious ex. But instead, she's doing the bidding of a man that could give two fucks about her. Typical masculina behavior. This whole cast, minus Mel, are the very deplorable, lint-licking, bottom-shelf, mouth-breathing, useless eaters that they want the public to believe that the mellometers are. And the sad part about it is that they keep proving it over and over again. Anyway, who do you think was behind Destiny's arrest this time? And do you think that Destiny will ever catch a clue that Martell is just using her as a tool against Mel? Drop down in the comments and tell me what you think. Again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, bet you know now.